You know what it is. Welcome back to He Said Us. Today we are talking about a little bit of drama on the internet. Surprise! A little bit of drama on the internet. Today we are going to be talking about Canned Pumpkin Guy. Canned Pumpkin, the Canned Pumpkin husband. He is basically the enemy in the crosshairs today, and who we will be talking about in today's video. Now let me pop this up on the screen. This is a guy named Nathan Timmel, and he's a married guy, as you can tell by the Laguna Beach, California shirt. And a lot of people got mad at Nathan the other day because he made a TikTok about a bit of a kerfuffle that happened between him and his wife, and it's a little bit of an argument that I'm interested in diving into, and so I thought I'd show you guys, and maybe we will chat about it a little bit. So let's just dive into what Nathan has to say. Trying out some new sound effects. I got some sound effects on the board over here. Now, one other thing I want to say before we jump into this video is that I thought this guy was like an English teacher or something. It says here that he's a comedian, author, and an idiot. Nathan Timmel. Oh my God, he's already capitalizing on it. He's got Canned Pumpkin shirts that he's selling on tpublic.com. You were already thinking it. He just said it out loud. And what you will learn as you watch this video is that the type of person Nathan Timmel is a little bit tough to watch while also being on his side, because he has this aura about him that can only be described as this sort of comedian, like narcissism, or maybe the better terms like pretentious comedian. I don't really know exactly what I'd call it, but let's listen to it and we can give our take on his little kerfuffle.
Single guys, here's what it's like being married.
Single guys, this is how you normally talk after you get married. This is what you sound like. Single guys.
My wife sent me to the store to buy the ingredients for pumpkin bars. I'm walking the aisles and realize canned pumpkin not on the list. Is this a mistake? Do we already have it? Let's call the wife to find out.
My other question is this how he normally talks in his stand-up comedy? Or is this just his way of presenting to the TikTok audience? Because to me, I won't dive too deep into it until we finish hearing the story. I'm going to back off.
She sends me straight to voicemail, shoots a text, can't talk. I respond with my dilemma and continue shopping. 10 minutes later, I'm ready to go. Still don't have a response. Call her again. Straight to voicemail, can't talk. Text her again, need an answer. Wait 5 minutes, leave. Now, could I have bought canned pumpkin? Yes, but if we already have it, it's going to sit on the shelf for a year. You only use it at Thanksgiving. Halfway home, I get a text, we need canned pumpkin. I tell her I'm gone. She asks, can you go back? No, I called you twice. That was with purpose. You think I'm calling to chit chat? Hey, haven't talked to you since breakfast. What's up? No. Now my wife is mad at me because she has to go to the store herself. Marriage.
So, if you're kind of cringing at the phone and watching this like this with this little face, you're not alone. I watched this, and even though the way he talks about it sounds like he is talking to like a 5-year-old and trying to explain it to them, I still get this like weird sense of like bitterness about the actual story in real life. And maybe that's not the truth. Maybe he's just like, this is how he talks on TikTok, and as you'll learn, this is just how he sounds on TikTok. But let me, at least before I go into the comments, explain what I think about this. I think the way he went about the pumpkin situation, which obviously he is doing like in good fun or whatever to make it into a TikTok, but still he proposed this little, this is what marriage is, guys. This is what marriage is for all you single freaks out there. Going to the grocery store, realizing there's no canned pumpkin on the list. It's all okay. You send the message. She says she can't talk. You decide to do another lap around. But when you're about to leave the store, if she still hasn't responded, just get the goddamn canned pumpkin. It's like how much is canned pumpkin? Like $2? $2.79 right there. And listen, this is when it boils down to like, what is the argument like on an objective level? And yes, if you listen to the way that Nathan explains it, it's like, yeah, I asked, she didn't respond. I'm on my way home. I'm not going to go back. Let me propose a different idea though. What if he just like, one, got the goddamn $2 canned pumpkin because, hey, guess what? You know, maybe you only use it for Thanksgiving, but you can use it next year. It's canned. It's canned pumpkin. It's not going anywhere. Also, you can use canned pumpkin for other things. But that's besides the point. I think the thing that bugs me the most about this is that he feels like he's doing everything right in this scenario. He has given the wife her chance to tell him whether or not she needs canned pumpkin. He has given her the time. He made sure he double checked. So then when he's on the way home and she asks, he's like, no, I covered my bases. I made sure I did my part. So no, I'm not going back to get the goddamn canned pumpkin, which is where I feel like I get annoyed at the situation because I'm like, dude, your wife didn't mean to not see your texts, or your wife didn't mean to ignore them. She was probably on a call where she couldn't completely stop in her tracks and text. And she probably thought, I don't know, she probably thought it wasn't that big of a goddamn deal. If one of the things wasn't on the list, she would probably think that her husband would maybe just grab the canned pumpkin anyways. What's she going to do? Is he going to get home and then he bought a $2 can of pumpkin and then she's going to freak out on him? Of course, you can look at this from one side, which is, hey, he gave her the opportunity to say something. She didn't. He's on the way home. I wouldn't want to turn around either. But I feel like his attitude about the whole thing is like, I'm safe. I don't actually have to go and do that thing. And it's like, okay, but what was the other option? If she was on the call and she literally was focused on something else and did it for long enough where she wasn't able to answer you in time, it's not like she meant to let you down in that scenario, right? I feel like if it comes down to the point where it's like either the guy has to go back or the wife has to go get it herself, I am like, you're being kind of a jerk off if you're, you know, making your wife go all the way to get the pumpkin just because she maybe, you know, wasn't able to get to the phone for a second. And again, this like isn't a big deal anymore. It doesn't really matter, but it's more about the attitude of him going through this process and then deciding to put it on TikTok to be like, oh, you know, this is what marriage is like. You know, you got an idiot wife. Everyone's got their idiot wife, you know. Would you rather have an idiot wife or a canned pumpkin husband? And I feel like Nathan also types out sentences the same way that he talks on TikTok. He says, the blessed union of two souls who fall truly, deeply, madly in love, and then 10 years later, if they're lucky, can't stand the sound of one another chewing. We think, why am I stuck here with this person when there are endless possibilities out there waiting for me? I scroll down a little. He says, but seriously, she calls people just to chit chat. Does it all the time, in fact. When I call, it's with purpose. I have a reason. I've picked up my phone and tapped away at those digits. I need information. Okay, dude, but what if she doesn't? What if that's not her thing? Hence the kerfuffle right before Thanksgiving. Admittedly, in reality, this was a big nothing. But I need the daily content, and I can exaggerate things a little to make them hopefully slightly amusing. So be it. Got big laughs on Friday and middling laughs on Saturday. It's a little better live. Oh, he told this joke on stage. This is like a Matt Rife joke where instead of it being an actual like setup and punchline, it's just like complaining about something that happened to you where you feel like you're right and you feel like someone else was wrong, and so you want to kind of make a joke out of it. I don't think Nathan is inherently a bad husband. I'm sure his wife loves him. I'm sure he loves his wife. I don't think he meant for this to be like some sort of, you know, big kerfuffle, as we might say. But this is still what he's putting out in the world. It's still the way that he's projecting an argument he got into with his wife. And I think a lot of people watch this and especially watch his demeanor during the whole thing and think, okay, this guy's kind of a big fat toot, I think. And I will read some of these comments and the story does continue. But first, and we're back, guys. So let's really dig into the comments. People didn't really like Nathan in this video. Someone says, nope, I would have bought it anyways. $2 for a can isn't worth arguing over. Why didn't you find out why she wasn't responding? That's important. I hope you find time to hold space for each other and heal the relationship. Should have left this one in the drafts. Now have her make a video about you. So, I mean, the question is, how does he respond? 1 week ago, Nathan posted a video with the caption, much ado about nothing. Unlike the many people who don't think before reacting, got one right here. I wanted to sit on my thoughts of it before responding to the furor surrounding the canned pumpkin nonsense, and that's why I waited a week to respond. When I started editing this video, it was 10 minutes long. I chopped, and hopefully it's somewhat reasonable now. I know once people start responding without watching, because that's what most of the dummies crying on my channel are doing at the moment, I'm going to say, crap, I covered that moron's hot take, but cut it out. Whatever. Bunch of random stuff. I want to just hear how he responds in the video. What the hell? This video is 8 minutes long? I thought I already knew everything. I don't even think I have 8 minutes worth of stuff to say about the pumpkin incident. I thought it was like kind of funny. I thought I had maybe a take on it. I know this is going to be a fun video to watch because one of the top comments asks why his voice sounds AI generated. Let's hear it.
Hi, my name is Nathan, and I posted a video about...
It literally sounds like he hired someone to voice over and do ADR on his own voice. One of those TikTok accounts that uses like Reddit posts and then does text to speech. This is what it sounds like.
Not buying canned pumpkin for my wife. It caused quite a kerfuffle on...
Listen, we all need to stop using that word. I know I shouldn't have used it earlier. I didn't realize that the reason why I was saying it was because this guy was saying it so much when I was looking into this video.
TikTok. So let's talk about it. And don't worry, at no point am I going to say, learn to take a joke, because that would be weak. So, I posted the video like any other video. I post one a day. This one did pretty well. Got about 200,000 views and...
Could have cut this. I feel like he could have cut this. He said that it was 10 minutes and he had to cut it down. I feel like the way he actually explains things and talks about stuff makes it a lot longer than it needs to. But let's continue.
The expected responses. People liked it. People didn't like it. They rolled their eyes. They said I should have bought the canned pumpkin. The comments started coming in too quickly for me to keep track of, so I stopped paying attention. Once you get to about 1,000 comments, you gotta let it go. 1 week and 8 videos later, I started getting comments on my newest video, and they were vicious. You're a piece of shit. I hope you get divorced. You're an asshole. I was confused until I finally saw, why didn't you just buy the canned pumpkin, jerk? So I checked the canned pumpkin video, and there had been a shift in the previous 24 hours. Instead of normal comments, a new wave.
This could have all been cut, dude. You could have just started it off by saying, hey, people were upset about the pumpkin video. Why do we have to go through the process of you uploading the video and not looking at the comments and then getting 1 to 2 comments and then you get a comment about the pumpkin thing and then you go back to the... I know how it went, dude. I didn't see him at first, or I didn't take him seriously, and then I realized it was serious, and then I took it seriously. I feel like that's easy enough to say. You don't need to do it with this goddamn AI voice standing in the middle of your...
of vitriol had shown up. An English professor who stole Dan McClellan's presentation style and is sort of a David Koresh for unhappy people had stitched my video.
So we're going to the part where he talks about how a big comedian stitched his video, and he obviously is kind of taking shots at the guy who did talk about what he thought on Nathan's video. Let's see what else he has to say.
With condescending thoughts of his own. This is sad and funny for 2 reasons. 1, the canned pumpkin video isn't my first rodeo. I have posted over 700 videos. I understand that people react without thinking, so I always write descriptions for my videos. This one said, I love my wife. This was a big nothing. I wrote a joke about it, did it on stage, worked great, so I'm going to put it on the internet, and I think it works better if I sell it with anger. I was acting. You'd think an English professor would read that and understand the difference between reality and satire, but...
I don't really think that's the point, though, you know? I feel like there's a difference between doing a TikTok where you just talk about, like, an argument with your partner. There's a difference between that and then like the Bill Burr approach of finding, you know, the whole joke is that you're willing to go so far with being stubborn about something that doesn't really matter, but you know, on paper people will agree with you. But I just feel like this video sounded like he was complaining about it. It didn't seem like a stand-up joke, which I know people think would have to be in front of an audience, but I feel like you can do stand-up jokes on TikTok without people laughing in the background. And I just feel like Nathan kind of is having trouble deciding what makes this joke good enough to tell on stage, right? Because it's like, I don't know, what is he trying to say? What's the joke? Is the joke that marriage is hard and you argue over dumb things? Is the joke that your wife isn't like responding and then you were right? I don't know. I really don't.
But I guess not. So good luck with the Shakespeare, kiddos. You're learning from someone who created a takedown video of a caricature. Kind of like splicing himself into Star Wars. Shout out to my nerds. And when Han says, I don't know,
Yo, shout out to my nerds. You guys know the deep cuts like Star Wars. You guys know what it's all about.
He pops up and says, I wouldn't fly casual because I'm not a dick. Yeah, you kind of are. The other reason...
But does he realize that he's also kind of a dick just by the way that he even talks about kickback from that video? Just because it's a joke or just because it's a character doesn't mean that someone can't criticize what you are doing in the video. I mean, when he says like, I'm not going to say just take a joke because that's like cheap or weak or whatever, isn't that kind of what he's technically doing right now? Like, he's telling everybody that it's just a character and that the guy who criticized it was, you know, I guess dumb because he couldn't realize that he was just joking. I feel like that's kind of exactly what he's saying now.
His video is sad funny is because I and all men have known a lot of guys like him before. The ultimate white knight to women with emotional problems. The last one I knew publicly praised women online while trying to cheat on his wife by sleeping with them behind the scenes.
Okay, that's also kind of a bit of neither here nor there, right? Like, oh, every white knight doesn't actually care about the women close to him. He just tries to make it seem like he praises women, but really, this guy's probably cheating on his wife. That's why he's probably upset with me. I feel like this response could have been so simple. Honestly, it didn't even need to happen. Like, you're on TikTok, everyone's gonna forget about it. Canned pumpkin guy, I think you should just come on and be like, haha, I think it's pretty funny, but like, my wife and I joke about it, like it was just in good fun. Then everyone's gonna be like, okay, yeah, cool. I'm sure it is. I thought that, but then he comes out with this, and it's like, I feel like you're not playing a character as much as you are trying to hide behind the way you acted in that situation once people actually take it seriously and ask. I don't know.
Guys like that are just so in tune with women that they can't keep it in their pants and be faithful. But it's okay when they do it because they're not doing it from a point of misogyny and control.
What is he talking about?
They're trying to help women with their penis. Am I saying the professor is cheating on his wife? Of course not. He's a nice guy, just like Bill Cosby was. But if he can make misguided assumptions about me...
Oh, there's another classic joke. He's a good guy, just like Bill Cosby was. Bill Cosby wasn't a good guy. That means that he's not a good guy. I mean, it's... Again, comedy for some people, to me it seems, people like Nathan, people like our friend Matthew Rife, think that comedy is all about delivering something in a confident way and showing that you're right about whatever that way is and you don't care what other people think. And that's not really what telling jokes is. And I don't really feel like he's telling any jokes. I mean, saying that the guy who made the takedown video on him is a white knight, white knights cheat on their girlfriend, he's a good guy just like Bill Cosby was, they're not exactly killer jokes, I would say. I think it seems a little bit bitter. It's not easy to jump onto Nathan's side after this happens. I feel like I already don't want him to be the one winning in this situation, you know? And I feel like a lot of people kind of feel the same way. One comment says, well, your video encourages a lot of guys like that, so it's alarming to the women who will suffer at the consequences of your joke. Someone says, I think because there's been an uptick in stories about guys feeling like they need to teach their wives a lesson, that's what people thought your video was about. And yeah, I have to agree that the whole feeling behind this video is like, my wife was wrong, everybody. Look at how silly my wife is. And I was right about it. I covered my tracks. I did everything a man is supposed to do. So no, I will not go back to the store and get your goddamn canned pumpkin. And of course, someone did point out, LOL, you said, learn to take a joke, though. And he said, where? At no point am I going to say learn to take a joke. 2 minutes later, it was a joke. He said, thank you for proving my point. I don't know. And so I look at people like this and it's like, Is it a big deal at the end of the day? No, of course not. It's like the littlest deal, actually. It doesn't matter at all. But do we have the ability to look at this and say, hey, I don't really like the way this guy talks about his own actions. I don't like the way he talks about his partner. I don't even like the way that he talks about criticism he's getting. And of course, I'm sure Nathan will look at this in the future and maybe learn as a grown man that this is kind of like something that people aren't going to watch and enjoy or go, haha, what a clever man. They're just going to think that you're kind of a mean partner, right? I mean, if your partner makes what you consider to be a mistake and your way of remedying that is going, no, I did everything right, actually, I'm not going to go and help you out when you made that mistake. I think you need to take care of that. I don't know. You seem kind of like a jerk. And of course, it doesn't seem that much better when you go to Nathan's merch and it is maybe the worst design I've ever seen for any merch on the internet. Get your own canned pumpkin. Good thing I can make it any color I want. I can get a tie-dye tee if I want, saying get your own canned pumpkin. That's really cool. But we got this other one that's sort of in the style of that one. What's the meme called? Like it's something about being chill and doing something. What is it? Like be calm and whatever. Is that? I'm not looking it up. I'm gonna let it go. And so many of them are such awful shirts. This one just says type 2 diabetes isn't given, it's earned. Nice, cool, fat joke by Nathan Timmel. When is it okay to like your own social media post? I'm pretty sure he didn't make that up. He has another shirt that is supposed to be in the style of Black Lives Matter, if I'm not mistaken, saying virtue signaling matters, which is really cool. And finally, I'll show you one right here. I was trans before it was cool, and it's like a stick shift, like the transmission or whatever in cars, which is also super cool. Oh, and another one right here about how being Christian is a lifestyle choice, but then being gay is I'm not actually sure what the point he's trying to make is with this one. Okay. I mean, maybe he's saying that being gay is not a choice, which is good. Insecure people are easily triggered. He just has all of these quotes that he obviously didn't come up with. Ooh, a really tasteful one here about Hamas. Remember, Hamas equals terrorist. Hummus equals delicious. That's really funny. That's a classic Nathan Timmel quote right there. And he actually isn't on either side of the political spectrum because he made the same shitty shirt with the same quote on it. So I want to show one last video, which is another time that Nathan responded to a bit of controversy, of course, with his classic virtue signaling matters shirt here. And he is responding to people being upset about him making a comment about obesity in one of his videos. He probably made a hilarious knee slapping joke, a classic Nathan Timmel joke. Let's hear what he has to say.
I need to apologize. The other day, I upset a few people because I said this. No one wakes up fat. You don't get out of bed, step on a scale, and say, where did these 50 pounds come from? They weren't there last night. Given the complaints I received...
Before we even continue, was that supposed to be a joke? Or is it just one of those things where he's going to be like, no, it's just not a joke. I'm just saying it how it is. That's just how it is. Like, oh, that's a fact. Is that not a fact? Is that not a fact that you can't wake up and you can be? People make these comments specifically to talk down on and insult people who are obese. Yet when they're actually confronted with the fact that they're just being an asshole, they get mad and like have to basically throw a fit about how they were just saying things that were like scientifically correct, as if anyone is going to Nathan Timmel for like health advice.
I now understand that I was wrong. You do go to bed healthy and wake up obese. It happens overnight. I was also wrong to suggest this. Instead of implementing a crash diet, try maintaining a healthy weight. It's not easy, it's not fun, it's a pain in the ass. The complainers are right. Weight loss is easy. Maintaining a healthy...
And it's such a lame way to go about responding to stuff, is just telling people that they were saying a certain thing when they criticize you and going, oh no guys, yeah, oh you guys are right and I was wrong. Actually, you shouldn't maintain a healthy weight. You shouldn't try to do that. You should just try to do. It's like no one was saying that. No one was bringing up that you were saying that and saying that that was the thing that was wrong. You're just an asshole. You're not a comedian. You just suck.
Hey there, people living in warm climates. If you've ever wondered what it's like to experience winter,
Who wants to listen to this guy talk? I'm sorry. I wish I could love more today. I wish I could send, some positive vibes out there for other people in their little marriage. But no, everything's a disaster. We are nearing the end of this year. And there's really not much hope. When I see stuff like this, especially, I run out of hope. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe I'm being, overly rude about this or whatever. But let me know what you think in the comments. This is probably going to be my last video for the year, maybe for the next month or so. Things have been pretty rough in my personal life, as you may expect. And I think that, this is a good time for me to take a break, take a step back, and breathe and reevaluate kind of where I want to go with everything from here. So I hope you guys are cool with that and that no one will be upset. And I don't think anyone will. I think we could all use a little bit of a break. So, if this is my last video for quite a little bit, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I appreciate all of your support. I appreciate the people who enjoy watching my videos. I hope you guys have a good holiday season. Be nice to the people close to you and play some Fortnite. I know that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to be playing a lot of Fortnite. Sorry, soundboard. Anyways, that's it for me. Be nice to each other and take care of yourselves this holiday season and be safe, especially if you live in an area with snow and ice. Don't drive around on that stuff too much because you might slip and hurt yourself. Okay, yeah, that's it. Thank you guys. I appreciate you all. Have a good one. I'll see you when I see you.